Good morning. With the consent of Honorable the Chief Justice, may we start the proceedings? I extend my heartfelt greetings to the esteemed dignitaries present here, Honorable Mrs. Justice Sunita Agrawal, the Chief Justice, High Court of Gujarat, come Patron-in-Chief, Gujarat State Judicial Academy, and Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Shastri, Judge, High Court of Gujarat, come President, Gujarat State Judicial Academy, members of the Registry, and the participant judge. We embark this training program, we find ourselves at the intersection of tradition and innovation. In judiciary, where traditions represents the core values, innovation is the key to ensuring that these values thrive in the rapidly changing world. This web training, ECT 13-2022, on computer skill enhancements program, level 1 and 2 for judicial officers, is a right direction, designed precisely with this balance in mind. With this brief background, we propose to extend a floral welcome to Honorable the Chief Justice. Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, needs no introduction. Briefly speaking, Her Ladyship were elevated as additional judge in Allahabad High Court in 2011 and took oath as permanent judge as Allahabad High Court on August 6, 2013, and thereafter have been appointed as the Chief Justice of our High Court on 23rd July 2023. I now request Shri R.K. Chudawala, in charge Registrar General, to offer a bouquet to Honorable the Chief Justice. I also request Shri A.T. Ukrani, Registrar SCMS and ICT, to offer a sapling to Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice. I also take this opportunity to welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Shastri, our President, Gujarat State Judicial Academy. Speaking of his lordship's early career as an advocate spanned from 1985 to 2016. During this period, his lordship's practice before the High Court covered civil, criminal, constitutional, and other incidental spheres. Thereafter, his lordships were elevated as additional judge, High Court of Gujarat, on 6th April 2016. His lordships were thereafter confirmed as the permanent judge on 15 March 2018. I would take this opportunity to request Shri R.A. Trivedi, Member Secretary, Gujarat State Legal Services Authority, to offer a bouquet to Honorable Lordship Mr. Justice Ashutosh Shastri. I would also request Shri S.D. Suthar, Registrar Law Legal Inquiry, to offer a sapling to Honorable Lordship Mr. Justice Ashutosh Shastri. I would also extend my warm welcome to all the members of Registry, as well as all participant judges present physically and also those who are present virtually. Now, I would request, my humble request to Honorable the President, Gujarat State Judicial Academy, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Shastri, to give introductory address befitting the occasion, please.
Honorable the Chief Justice and esteemed Patron-in-Chief of Gujarat State Judicial Academy, Justice Sunita Ji Agrawal, Registrar of High Court of Gujarat, Director of Gujarat State Judicial Academy, Member Secretary of Gujarat State Legal Services Authority, learned Principal District Judges and Judicial Officers, participant judges and trainee judicial officers present here in this training program, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. Today is a special day for our Gujarat State Judicial Academy, since a training program for more than 1100 judicial officers is being conducted and inaugurated by our Honorable Chief Justice. This web training, ECT 13 of 2022 on computer skill enhancement program level 1 and 2 for the judicial officers of the district judiciary is being conducted, and feeling very happy to have presence of all the judicial officers in large numbers who have joined this program from their respective district headquarters. As you know that this training program is organized in compliance of the directions of Honorable Supreme Court and with valuable support of team of High Court and Gujarat State Judicial Academy is being conducted through video conferencing in our state. I must say with pride that this training program is scheduled at a very short notice, and this has been possible on account of Honorable Chief Justice's unwavering support and guidance, and it is really appreciable and encouraging for the fraternity that this training program is being inaugurated by our Chief Justice. We heartily welcome and thank our leadership for giving immense support. Digital age has by now dawned on us with the introduction of digital tools. The national corollary is the streamlining of process in every field, and the judiciary is no exception. This program is being conducted as per the design and mandate of the committee of Honorable Apex Court, which involves the training of master trainer judicial officers and also the refresher training for all the judicial officers. The philosophy of training of trainers model is ingrained in this exercise. Now it is our responsibility to fully embrace this time and empower ourselves with the skill necessary to further evolve and to match with the global standard of adjudication. This program is intended to shortlist the judicial officers who are interested and skilled to conduct IT training sessions for judicial officers and the court staff. And further, intensive training later on would be conducted for such shortlisted judicial officers. I must say that our motto, learning has no end, is our spirit as well. The training of technology cannot be an occasional or a one-time measure. It has to be continuing ongoing program, which is always envisaged by the E-Committee of Supreme Court of India. All judicial academies across the country have been made part of this training exercise by Honorable E-Committee, and we strive to conduct best possible ICT sessions for judicial officers and the court staff. Incidentally, when we have all assembled in the august presence of Honorable Chief Justice, I take the opportunity to indicate on behalf of our Judicial Academy that our academy is so alive to the need of training and capacity building of judicial officers across the state that all facilities and the equipments like Chromebook, laptops with external microphone for dictation, etc., are allotted to our judicial officers from the budgetary provision of our academy. And I assure on behalf of academy that it will remain large-hearted and will always stand by to the need and services of the judicial officers. Let us view this training program not as a standalone event, but as a stepping stone towards more proficient and techno-savvy judiciary. I expect all of you to gain maximum possible training during this 2-day program and continue to participate wherever an opportunity arises in future. My all best wishes to all of you. I once again extend my warm welcome to all participants, and while parting with, I admire the efforts of the team members of State Judicial Academy and IT cell of the High Court of Gujarat for conducting this efficient training program. I also admire the efforts and cooperation extended by all persons connected with this training session. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Lordship. Now I would implore our Honorable Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Mrs. Justice Sunita Agrawal, to deliver inaugural address for this program.
A very good morning to everyone. My brother Justice Ashutosh J. Shastri, President Gujarat State Judicial Academy, in charge Registrar of the High Court, Director Gujarat State Judicial Academy, Member Secretary Gujarat State Legal Services Authority, members of the Registry, Principal District Judges present through VC, accompanied by all judicial officers who have joined this training program, and the trainee judicial officers present here. At the outset, I must express my heartfelt thanks and pleasure to be with all of you today. That too in a state-wise workshop cum training program for all judicial officers of Gujarat Judiciary on information and communication technology. After taking over as Chief Justice of High Court of Gujarat, I have been planning to have an interaction with all the principal judicial officers to channelize and focus efforts of us all in furthering our objective in tackling arrears and also various ongoing development and service initiatives in our judicial system. I take this opportunity in this inaugural session of this workshop as my first address to all the principal judicial officers along with their respective judicial families at the districts. Training, as we say, the capacity building is a subject close to my heart for the very reason that ongoing and continuous capacity building work efforts can only keep us prepared and equipped to serve our institution of justice delivery system with the best possible energy and efforts. In the fast changing and dynamic world, nation, and the society we live in, if we do not keep pace with the latest trends in the law and the technology, our commitment towards our institution would only remain a rhetoric and would not become a reality. Therefore, I believe we should never treat capacity building efforts as a secondary or extracurricular kind of exercise. Another aspect which I would like to emphasize here is that many a times the training programs are viewed as compulsion by many of the officers and including us, because it takes away our holidays or they pushes our cognitive capacity to stretch further to learn something new or something seemingly more difficult than what we have already learned years ago. If efforts put on towards building ourselves, our personalities and our profile would be seen as something that is forced upon us or thrust upon us, needless to say that participation in such training programs would never yield the desired result. So, we should adopt our ways of looking at such initiatives and treat the training cum awareness sessions as an opportunity for enriching our experience, which would lead to enhancement in our own worth within and outside the institution and in our personal lives as well, especially when the training is about the technological advancements. If we are good at gadgets, it is seen as an advanced form of literacy in today's time. Being not so good at technology is also a mark of technical disablement or illiteracy these days. People who are competent and confident in use of technology in their professional and personal lives are seen as ahead of the curve in society when compared to those who find the use of technology challenging and intimidating. We need to pass through the change management phase from technology deficient to technology efficient with such trainings of trainers and peer-to-peer training programs. We have to acknowledge the fact that many of the public service and finance sectors like banking, insurance, equity markets are far ahead than us in use and implementation of technology for their stakeholders. We would also not be able to deny that many organizations have faced challenges of difficult learning curves faced by their workforce as a bottleneck against optimum implementation of technology. The learning in the area of digital skills, that is information and technology and communication technology skills, is proving to be the most crucial for one's professional expertise and growth. As I said, we had a concept of literacy to gauge whether a person is educated or not. Now we have the test of digital literacy or IT literacy for assessment if a person would be fit to do justice to the job he or she is getting on the basis of her or his qualification and experience in the area of subject area of education. Our judicial system has focused with great vigor and strength on ensuring that the digitally literate enters the service as a new judicial officers. In-house training for those who have entered the service before the onset of ICT in the system should be viewed as a welcome step. The entire judicial fraternity would have to wake up to the call and take steps in leaps and bounds to be digitally enabled and empowered so as to keep pace with the changing times. The E-Committee of the Supreme Court, under the stewardship of Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, has given utmost importance to the training programs, training requirements of the judicial officers, court staff, as also learned advocates in the area of information and communication technology. Many training sessions have been conducted for making the judicial and lawyer fraternity aware about the developments and deliverables of the e-court project. Large number of judicial officers and learned advocates have been trained as master trainers, who would in turn train their brothers and sisters in the judicial and legal fraternity, and the court staff as well. Training material in the form of user guides and video tutorials have also been prepared and made available on the website of the E-Committee of the Supreme Court. All these efforts have been to be augmented by us by learning technology in a mission mode so that digital awareness does not become a bottleneck for any of us in processing and adjudicating the cases in the courts. When we are planning that the courts would be fully utilizing the e-mode of filing of cases and hearing in very near future. We also envision in the ensuing phase 3 of the e-courts projects, hundreds of paperless courts across the country at the level of the High Court as well as district courts. Such a scenario should not become a challenge or an intimidation for judicial officers, but should instead become an encouraging factor, which is only possible if the judicial officer is digitally empowered. I would therefore advise all the judicial officers here to shed at least 2 myths for self-improvement in the direction of digital literacy. The first myth, according to me, is the belief that if your personal staff or court clerk is digitally literate, that is sufficient for you to overcome the digital literacy gap in conducting the cases. This myth is the same as if someone would believe that only the junior doctor needs to know the surgery, as the senior one would only be a guiding bystander in the operation theater. Digital literacy is like swimming or cycling, which would benefit not only who learns it itself, which would benefit only when one learns it itself and does not just depend upon others to do the course. When digital mode has not remained just an option or an added alternate advantage, but has become the prerequisite mode in the work culture, we cannot afford to live with such a myth. The second myth harbored by all of us is that getting the digital content printed and reading it on a paper is an antidote to the weakness of digital disablement. The reluctance of using the digital content in its e-form and resorting to using its hard copy on paper to read it in old conventional method is just an avoidance approach to an imminent change. One cannot expect everything to be placed on paper, which is expressed or reflected by software tools. It is not ideally possible for all the types of information and outputs, while it is also not feasible at all times or at all places. This myth is preventing the e-filing platform from actually benefiting the court administration and has instead become a clogging for the administration by turning the court filing centers into printing stations for the e-file matters. Thus, one hard copy which is already there with the litigant who scanned and e-filed it is born into another physical avatar within the court registry, just because the content is not readily acceptable or used in its e-form. This myth, therefore, is probably the biggest hurdle which is to be crossed by all of us, by which I mean each one of us. If these two myths are won over and vanished, the roadblocks on our path to digital empowerment would also vanish. I request you all to introspect and try to get rid of these. I have seen officers who are pleased to receive the gadgets like laptops, etc., from the institution, but they are not so pleased when the results are expected from them by using the same. Official laptops or gadgets to officers are not perks, but are instruments to improve the capacity and productivity of the judicial officers. None of us can deny the fact that use of technology can definitely improve our productivity and the capacity to deal with our judicial and administrative work. If we make optimum use of all the technology available to us, apart from easing our dependence on manual mode of working for judicial output, it would definitely add quality and accuracy to our work, thereby reducing our own stress level as well. In these days of mounting arrears and huge pendency, vast statistical reports and their analysis is next to impossible if we do not use computers on our own and keep depending upon papers for the same. I take this opportunity to share with you all that after coming to Gujarat, when I used Chromebook for correction of drafts in Google Docs, I found it to be extremely innovative, convenient, and user-friendly. I'm told that a new innovative tech initiative developed indigenously by the IT cell of the High Court of Gujarat will be released today, which would enable all the judicial officers and court staff, if they are used to typing in old style Buckman keyboard layout, to continue using an improvised version in latest technology, Unicode fonts in Chromebook and Linux computer systems. This would facilitate all the judicial officer and court staff to be free from changing their typing skill set and increase their productivity and output. I should inform that this has been developed by a team of 3 technical personnel of the cadre of computer operators working in the IT cell, with initial inputs from one of the system officers working in the district. I congratulate the team in advance and appreciate their work, wishing them the best to achieve greater heights, to accomplish many more milestones, to improve our system. Thanks to all the members of the team. Dear judicial officers, you are my team. We still have a lot to do in the area of ICT implementation, especially in view of the ensuing phase 3 of the e-code projects. Unlike earlier 2 phases, the e-code phase 3 project does not concentrate only on hardware and software enablements, but instead focus on an ecosystem approach of transforming the judicial delivery system to make the e-mode of working the first preferred and gradually the only method of working in the system. Scanning and digitization coupled with e-filing and paperless codes would be the hallmark of phase 3 of the e-codes project. Accessing the system by the stakeholders from the cloud infrastructure instead of locally set up conventional server infrastructure is also going to be one of the main thrust areas. E-access to justice and e-processing of the whole life cycle of all types of cases by the justice delivery system would be the goalpost for us all in the phase 3 of the e-courts project. We would also be focusing to implement e-filing in the district judiciary and scanning and digitization of case records very soon. Apart from the same, deposition by the police officers and medical officers through video conferencing, hybrid mode of hearing, and remote working courts for negotiable instrument act cases on the lines of virtual traffic court, live streaming of more courts in the district judiciary are also on our immediate roadmap. Our training programs would also focus on and facilitate all these areas as well. This workshop cum training program has been organized as part of ICT training programs being conducted under the mandate and guidance of the E-Committee of Apex Code. Apart from ensuring a refresher training to all the judicial officers on the latest of technology implementation in the judiciary in the country, and our state under the e-courts project and ICT initiative as taken in the state of Gujarat by the High Court. This program also intends to further strengthen the team of master trainer judicial officers by including and enabling additional team of judicial officers interested and oriented to further ICT awareness and implementation in the system as new master trainer judicial officers. Such a team of existing available master trainers and new master trainers to be identified and further trained intensively shall take take the beacon forward of training further the judicial officers and court staff at the local level in the districts. My heartfelt best wishes to you all. I wish great success for the workshop and trust that all the participants will wholeheartedly participate in it. I'm sure that after this, we will have a digitally enabled team of judicial officers who will be the mission mode champions for implementation of phase 3 of e-courts project in the Gujarat Judiciary. If time would permit, I may also join in any of the sessions today or tomorrow virtually. The readings of all the sessions would be made available to all the judicial officers for reference and revision of learning on the topics covered. I extend my best wishes again for the workshop. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ladyship. A very comprehensive vision Ladyship has for the goals ahead. And when the road is charted, it is always easier to follow that path. Now, I would request, Ladyship has already referred to the virtual keyboard layout indigenously developed by our IT cell. I am requesting her Ladyship to proceed with the release of that vernacular keyboard layout, please. I am requesting our IT cell, AT Ukranisa Registrar, SCMS and ICT to please give a brief or demo of this vernacular keyboard layout, please.
My lords, this issue was persisting for quite some time in the judiciary, that our old court staff and many of the judicial officers used to type in a keyboard layout which is not suitable for the latest technology Unicode style. So one of the system officers in one of the districts was requested, because he was good at it, to devise something, but we could not achieve. Then from his learnings, we took forward, and 3 of our computer operators, my lord, who are the junior most cadre in the IT in High Court, my lord. So they were encouraged, and they took it up. For 3 months, they had been working, my lord. And then now they have developed a layout whereby, my lord, Chromebook users will also be able to type in that old style. So the keyboard mapping would remain the old, but the technology output of the font would be the latest. And in addition to Chromebook, my lord, even the LibreOffice users in Ubuntu systems and the Linux system within the Chromebook, they'll also be able to use this layout. So now, Lord, the PDFs of orders and judgments that would be uploaded on our website would not be technology discompliant. They'll be latest, and we'll be able to search text in the latest. So now whatever typing is being done is from the new keyboard layout which is developed, Lord, and they have named it as Gujarati Bakman IT Cell Gujarat High Court. So, Lord, once it would become viral, even it is possible that some people from outside the judiciary will also be benefiting from it, because they are also depending on this kind of keyboard layout. So thanks to my lords, my lord, this is released today, and now onwards, our judiciary will be able to use it, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you very much, Ukrani sir. We are at the fag end of the conclusion of this inaugural session, but before we conclude, may I request all of you to stand up in your respective places in deference to the national anthem being played. The national anthem, please. Thank you. This session stands concluded.
So the participants across the judiciary are requested that maybe after 10 or 15 minutes, we'll be starting with our session 1. Thanks.